Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for our next guest. She's a superstar, some say a radiant gem in Hollywood, and her brilliance has dazzled us for over 40 extraordinary years. She's not just a multi-award winning actress, producer, and author extraordinaire, but a beacon of talent and grace. This dazzling diva captured our hearts as the iconic Nancy Wesley on the Days of Our Lives, etching her unforgettable performance into soap opera history. With a career that sparkles like the brightest stars and a name that glitters with accolades and acclaim. A winner of the coveted Soap Opera Digest Award and has been nominated for multiple daytime and primetime Emmys, proving time and again that she's the true queen of the screen. With accolades like the 2020 Best Supporting Actress, 2018 Best Guest Actress, 2016 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Actress, and the 1999 Soap Opera Digest Award. From the heart-pounding drama of The Bold and the Beautiful to the riveting intrigue of The Young and the Restless, she's graced countless beloved series, including The Big Bang Theory, Dexter, Desperate Housewives, and Step by Step. Her filmography is a treasure trove of cinematic gems featuring standout roles in the Line of Fire, where her memorable line with John Malkovich made movie history, and not to be outdone by her performance in Speed 2, Rango, Babe, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and so many more. As if her acting prowess weren't enough, she's a member of the Board of Governors for the Television Academy. She was named TV Guide's Sexiest Woman in 1999. She's also a best-selling author. Her book, 365 Glorious Nights of Love and Romance, is filled with wisdom and passion, and her book holding and maintaining a 5-star review on Amazon. Beyond the glitz and glamour, she's a dedicated advocate for mental health and change as she serves as the board of the Thalians. She's also an active member at her local Elk Lodge and the SAG and AFTRA Union, continually giving back to her community. Now, when she's not lighting up the screen, you can find her in the golf course or the Pilates studio. Ladies and gentlemen, you may know our guest as Nancy Wesley, Shirley Spector, Lorraine, Violet, Pamela Dede, and so many more. But today, our guest of generosity and inspiration is known as the legendary, the superstar, the queen of the screen, Patrika Darbo. Now, Patrika, I really want to dive into it with you. Now, the early days, you actually had to balance a corporate job that not many know about and pursuing acting. When did you know that the pursuit of acting full-time was for you?
When the gentleman I was working for told me I was a woman no more than a goat and to never contradict him again.
Well, to speak out of turn, GOAT is the greatest of all time. I think he was.
Yeah, that would be, except that's not exactly what he meant. At that point, I told the president that they had 20 minutes or 2 weeks that I would not work for him and that they were lucky that I wasn't suing them.
Sure.
And from that, I went right on. I got an audition for a play called Cheatin', written by Del Shores. And then I did numerous shows for Del, and one which was Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will. And I got to reprise my role after doing it for 2 years on stage and going to the Fringe Festival in Scotland, which was wonderful, as did Molly McClure, who played the grandmother in the show. So that kind of like started, I don't need this anymore. This is it. I've got to pursue this. And at the time I was like in my 40s. So yes.
So one of your first stage performance was with the production Cheating.
Yeah. Cheating. There's an apostrophe at this. We don't say our G's in the South. No.
Can you walk us through that first time that you had the opportunity to play a character?
Well, I mean, I had done a lot of stage and other things before that. So, I mean, when I was working, I never took vacation time because if I had an audition or I booked the job, that was my vacation. That's what I did. But when you get to a point where someone is saying these aspersions to you, you've got to make a decision. Oh, my salary is here. And where's my hand going? Here. When I'm doing theater part-time. This is where my salary is when I'm working 40 hours a week. So that was where I had to really say, you know what, you need to concentrate on this. But I met my husband on stage in a community theater in Burbank. Then we were married on another community theater stage that we helped build in Burbank, with a production called To Tie the Knot, starring me as the bride, starring my husband as the groom, and the cast of characters were all our attendants, and the original stories were conceived by our parents. So we kept that all through it, and we are getting ready in December to celebrate our 51st anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about that performance. Now, when you put that performance on, Tie the Knot, did you have a full audience? Did they know that this was real, or were they just waiting? Walk me through.
No, it was an invited thing. So our parents were there, and our families, and our close friends, and we filled the place. So yes, they knew that. But we met in a production of Anything Goes, and I was in the chorus, and my husband was the stage manager. Then let's see, what else did we do together there? Then, well, we went over to the Golden Mall Playhouse, and we were doing shows like Forum, and I was Tintinnabula, the loud one, the dancer, one of the courtesans. Anyway, and my husband was a eunuch. Then we went to, I did Leave It to Jane. I did Wish You Were Here. Let's see, George M. Cohan's show. There were a lot of them we did together. And then my first commercial was for Hershey's Hefty Hamburgers, which got me to join the union. So, that was the fun time. I mean, we did all of that. And then as I said, when I did a Cheatin', after I left this job, then I started looking other roles. So even though I was starting late per se, my dream was always to be a performer. So don't let anyone ever tell you you can't have your dream. It just may not be immediate. And somewhere along the line, that dream may shift to, I didn't know I could do that. Well, this is really what I want to do. So, don't listen to the outside voices at times. Listen to your heart and what you hear. So.
And when we look back on your career, do you find that you have a passion more for stage than you would, say, film and television?
Honey, if you put a spotlight on me, it doesn't matter where it is, I'm going to act for you. Like right now, the background's lit up. So, it's just something that, it's like a person that loves baseball and becomes a baseball, and they started in Little League and they go up to where the major leagues. It's what feeds your soul. That's what they want to do. That's what they've worked for. And every day, it's a blessing to get to do what you love to do.
Now, when we talk about the blessing of doing what you love to do, and when we look at the experience and all of the film and television stage that you've done, do you find that you have a difference in your approach when you do the audition for roles for stage versus television and film?
Well, a lot of times when you're doing theater stage, you project a little bit when you're auditioning so that they know, nowadays there's a lot of times where they'll mic you. But when I started, it was very big. So the hardest thing when I went down to the soap opera was keeping my voice here level. And then during rehearsal, if I made an emphatic loud thing, they knew it was going to happen. And generally it's kind of the same thing. I try to speak my normal levels. I mean, when I first started doing stuff, I didn't realize when the actor would be going, and I'd be like, I can't hear what they're saying. And I'm standing 2 feet away from them, because that's how powerful mics are and things. So it took a while to get used to that in the soap opera thing. And also the push in where you say, no. And then they fade out. When the first time that happened to me, I was like, is the camera still on? What the hell's happening? What's happening? Anyway. So there's different variances. And, as a performer, we all have different ways that we go in and approach what we're doing. And I would say to all actors, if you're auditioning for a show that you don't know, go find a rerun of it. Go watch something, get YouTube it or whatever all those things are. Excuse me. So that you can see what the tempo is of something or whatever. And but it's also too sometimes the casting director who is your best friend, and the lady out front who's taking your name and everything, she may be the casting director tomorrow. So always be kind, always be polite. That's just, I mean, I would think everybody does that, but I've been in cases where they don't. And those people remember when they move up.
Which is, it's
Anyway,
because
I'm sorry.
it's really neat that you say it, because it doesn't cost anything to be nice and polite.
No, it costs you absolutely nothing. And if you don't get it in return, you just smile and move on. You don't need confrontation. You don't need to do anything else. I mean, and it's like, I have an opinion that may be different than your opinion, but you're entitled to yours and I'm entitled to mine. But don't you try to pound yours into me, because it's not going to work.
I was going to ask you, when we look at the early stages of acting in stage to what we are today, and everyone says, oh, the industry's changing. From your perspective, how do you feel the industry has changed from the early days of you auditioning to being to set till now?
Well, and when I auditioned back in the dark ages, that we'd go, there were maybe 5 or 6 people. It was a live audition. When you went into a room, there were writers, producers, and the casting people who were reading with you. And virtually when you got the copy, and then you saw who's competing, because we were all friends. And we'd walk in and they'd go, ah, I knew it. I know it. This is her role. Why the hell are we here? And vice versa. Now, because of COVID, everything is done on this computer. Now, an actor acts with their eyes. I'm now acting with a computer who's just a lens. So you're not getting, we have readers with us, but you have to, I would have to look here to the reader, but you're not seeing things on the camera. So that's changed a little bit, and trying to be familiar with things that are going on there. And there are a lot of classes for that. There's a lot of techniques and lighting areas for you, etc. That's all changed because we've become the writers, producers, directors of our own auditions. And now, because of that, and I also have to say that your major movie stars,
Mhm.
you know, are now doing television, which was like, I'm not doing television. Are you crazy? You know, they were film stars. Now they're all doing television. And if you're doing a show that's only 8 or 9 episodes, you can have please excuse me, Meryl, I'm going to use you as an example. Meryl Streep can go into one show that has 7 episodes, take a break, and there's another show over here starting. Oh, let's see if Meryl's available. She's available because the first show doesn't start back again for the next 7 show. So there's that kind of thing. So the competition is more tough in the fact that we are have been television stars for a long time, are doing mostly television, and now that pool has suddenly got up. But I like Universal, which is just a hop and a skip from me, put in like 18 new sound stages for streaming, and just spitting distance, let me get that out, spitting distance from me is Warner Brothers Ranch, where they're building 16 new sound stages for streaming. It's kind of like you go, then every actor in the world should have a job. But no, it's the same group goes to this one, the same groups, you know, because they feel, anyway, it's just my opinion. And again, I'm entitled to it, but I just think that that's the change in industry. It's kind of like, should I retire now? Because Meryl and I are kind of along the same age. Patrika Darbo, Meryl Streep. You know,
I
it's
like
that
what
kind
you
of.
said, where you were, since COVID and with everything that's happened, that we have this, the technology and the computer camera, where we now become, basically writers, producers, directors, actors, our own casting guys and everything. And it does become a unique challenge when you're not able to be in the room.
I know, but it feeds our souls to be here. So that's what we're going to do, regardless.
It's the
And there's so many young creative people right this moment who are writing, producing, and doing things. Now, there's an ultra low budget where an actor would get $125 plus 10%, so
Mhm.
they can pay their agents. But at this point in time, it's so hard because an actor couldn't get a pension with $125 trying to make it sure they get up to the amount they have to qualify for. It's much different now. I mean, it's and now we're all facing that AI thing where, one of my auditions was from Warner Brothers, which said auditioning and, taking the job is contingent upon being scanned, which
Gee.
means they scan me and they have my face in perpetuity. And why our union, SAG-AFTRA, doesn't develop a company or a division to set up scanning so all actors can be watermarked and own their image, it's not going to get any better. I mean, anyway.
But when we end up talking about the actors and the unions and all of these vital pieces that we need there, what do you believe is one of the most important qualities or even a skill that an actor and actress should develop?
Well, they should develop their acting first, get in classes and do all of that. This is superfluous. There's a lot of companies that you can pay an extra 10 or 15, sometimes a little more, to film your audition for you. And they have all these young kids have computers out the wing wang and this thing here and this thing, and boom, you look better. They edited it down so that, there's more close up here and then it's back here, because that's when we're acting and that passion's there. I can't do that. I can barely push the button to get to Zoom. So there's just so many options there for them. But the first thing is to know your material. Be sure you really don't take up the time, and to never forget that if you have an audition, they know you are talented or you would not be in the room, because they're risking their own reputation if you come in and look like crap. So be prepared always, but know that you're already talented or you wouldn't be in the room.
I love
Now
that.
it has nothing sometimes to do with your talent at that point, because you already know you're talented, you're in the room, but they wanted a blonde, or they wanted an ethnicity, or they wanted, a jillion other things.
Mhm.
So just know that if you're in the room, you're talented or you wouldn't be there, and don't disappoint the casting people or yourself. Be prepared.
I love that. I think that's a fabulous answer, and I really appreciate you saying that. It's a lot of people walk in and say, "Why am I here?" I forget, oh, that person looks different or better, and therefore, I love that you said it. You're in the room, guys. You've done your job. They want you here, so let's shine.
Well, it's interesting enough, years ago, I did Keanu Reeves' first show, a film with Lori Loughlin called The Night Before, because it was the Dark Ages, and my brain's frosty. But in that was an audition that they wanted me to come in character and as a sleazy Madonna bimbo. Now, I've always been heavy, and I was even heavier at that point. And so commercially, we keep a lot of things. This one time I auditioned for something that I had to be a Stone Age woman. But anyway, I had this big leopard top, and I had these huge shoes that I could barely walk in, and little orangey socks with lace on them, and beads, and my hair and all this stuff to go to this audition. Now I'm thinking I'm going to see everybody like me that I know. Nah. I get off the elevator and everyone looked like Stupefying Jones from Little Abner. I mean, I barely came to the kneecaps of some of these women, and they all went like this, because they were in Stupefying Jones things. And here was this short, round, rotund woman, and they were like this. I went into the room, and I'm not sure if I can tell you the dialogue, which I remember to this day because it's a little risque. So bear with me, and there's no swear, but it's risque. I walked into the director, and the director kind of looked up at me, and then he immediately looked over at Monica Swan, and she went, "Just wait." The dialogue was this. "Oh, Joe, I know what they call it, but you don't actually blow." "Oh, Joe, I couldn't do that." "Well, maybe." I got the part. Don't let things intimidate you at this point. I mean, I had already felt when I got off the elevator and saw those, I went, "Oh my God, they have the wrong person here. What the hell am I going to do?" The same thing happened to me in the soap opera Days of Our Lives. I walk onto that set and I'm like, now I'm a size 2, but mine has a 0 after it. And here's Christian Alfonso 02. And then I can't remember the other actress's name right this moment, but she was the 00. She didn't even have a size that it was. And I'm like, the makeup artist is doing me. And I said, oh, Nina, in a few minutes, I'm going to get a call that they've hired the wrong person. At which point she's starting to do my mascara, and over the intercom comes Patrika Darbo, please report to the producer's office. And Nina was like, oh my God, oh my God. And I was like, told you. So I go upstairs, and all the producers wanted to say is welcome me to the family. Now, you have to keep in mind also that I was only hired for like 3 or 4 episodes. But when the show aired, NBC lit up in all the states going, we love her, we keep her, blah, 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 blah. So by the end of that first day that I aired, now I had filmed a couple other episodes already, but when I aired, I had a 3-year contract, a boosted salary, and everything like that. So just go for it. You know, I mean, you got to go for it. You got to trust and go there. And again, because I wasn't the typical soap diva, I thought I was in the wrong place. And that year, that's the year I won the Soap Opera Digest Award, because the fans loved me. And I can't thank, I don't want to cry. I cannot thank them enough, because your fan base is wonderful, and you need to cultivate that. So I try to answer everything. People email me or put something on Facebook, I try to answer that, because you're vital. You're very vital to this industry and to all industries. Fans are vital. So
From day one to 504 episodes later, it's amazing.
honey, and listen, I just went back in March, and it doesn't air till October because Days is on Peacock now, so they're going faster. But I will be doing a couple more, 3 more episodes, I think, it comes up, unless they've already counted it into that. So, but that's all due to the blessed fans. Thank you.
Now, speaking of fans, what was it first like when you realized that you had fans?
I think going through the airport and having people yell, Nancy, 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 and I'm just oblivious to it. And Kevin Spiritus, because we were going to an event, went, they're talking to you. I said, oh my God, I am Nancy West. Anyway, and then I felt bad for the few people that I'd passed that had yelled at me, because I thought, oh my God, they think I'm a snob. They think I'm hateful. Oh God, maybe we should go back. We don't have time to go back, said Kevin. Anyway, it's sometimes you do your best work, and that's for you as well as getting another job. So it's still for you. But now I know that I have a responsibility to honor the fans, and I try to every day.
Do you believe that your fame came around the same time? Like, when did the fame become part of your life?
Well, I think, in '84 we did, it came in the early '90s because of doing Del Shore's Cheatin', who went on to do others, and Sorted Lives, and Daddy's Dying. I'm trying to think of everything else that I did for him, but which was a great opportunity. But when the movie came out, Daddy's Dying, I got a contract through ABC, and that's when I did Step by Step. And again, when like about the 12th or 13th episode, 14th episode of Step by Step, Peggy Ray, who was the mother, may she rest in peace, we looked at each other when Cody came on and went, we're not long for this show. So it was kind of like when Urkel came on to Family Matters, when Cody came on to Step by Step, the dynamics changed a bit. Anyway, so I was not picked up for the second season, neither was Peggy. Was a fun time, loved Suzanne, may she rest in peace, and Patrick and I keep in touch every once in a while. And in fact, I'm going to be doing something for the Step by Step podcast or something too, with 2 of the girls, Christine Lakin and oh, total blank. It'll come to me, but I digress here. If I hadn't been let go and not picked up, I would not have gotten to do In the Line of Fire, which was accolades too. So little thing that happens, that window goes open, this window opens, or this door closes, this window opens. Keep approaching things like that everything is coming all the time. Every time this one's gone, this one's coming. This one's gone, this one's coming. When I went, then let's see, I won the Emmy, the Primetime Emmy for Acting Dead, which was, if you can find it, be sure you see it. We only got to do one episode. And we're still hoping somebody looks at it and says, why the hell didn't we pick this up? But I won the Primetime Emmy. I'm the first actress to win the short form. That got me other things. Right after that, I was hired to do Bold and the Beautiful, to play Sally Spectra's sister, Shirley. And that's where the new Sally Spectra was introduced. And due to some cast changes and everything like that, we were sort of phased out, that family. But Sally was picked up to be on The Young and the Restless, and I've done 3 of those episodes as her grandmother. So everything leads to something else. Don't ever say no, I'll never work again. No. If you say that, the universe hears and will provide. Just remember, okay, I'm on to the next project.
Speaking of next projects, is there a project or a role that you wish you had the opportunity to take on?
Golly, I mean, I would love to be able to play the villain. Usually I'm like the happy person. I mean, when I did Days of Our Lives, I was a vicious bitch. But I wanted my husband to be in charge, and I was going to do whatever I could. And if they let me manipulate them, too bad, you lose. So, but I think sometimes it'd be nice to play the unsuspecting villain, the unsuspecting murderer. Because look at this sweet face. Nobody would think I was going to kill you. Oh.
And Patrika, where can people learn more about you?
Oh, Google. But yeah, listen, I always tell people that I'm on Facebook, which is Patrika Darbo. There's no A. I don't know who that is. And then I'm also Darbo Patrika on Instagram. You message me there, and I try to answer all of them. If I don't get back to you right away, it's because I'm doing a number of ones that came before you. So I try to keep in touch that way. My fan email is totofans@yahoo.com, and I try to answer those too. And I forget sometimes to check the spam folder, so please forgive me. I'll try to do better on that one if I don't answer you right away. My fan club president is Debbie O'Connor, and in front of me right now, without looking at my Rolodex, which I have no idea where it is, but she is my fan club president. You can write her to get pictures or whatever you need stuff.
Now, I have a question for you here, and you're the governor of the Television Academy, or you're on this. Tell us more about this role.
Okay, I am not the governor right now. I am on the Performers Executive Committee this time. I was the governor for 5 years during COVID because nobody could do anything. I mean, everything was shut down. But basically, as the governor for your peer group, you are in the boardroom trying to make changes and do things that will enhance the academy, make it more known and stuff like that. And this is where I get on my soapbox right now. Hello, Meryl. Have you voted for yourself? Do you get your email, or does it go to your manager or your agent? And their secretaries are voting, not you. So I would suggest, if you're an actor, any actor out there, be sure to register. You can go online to do it at the Television Academy of Arts and Sciences and become a member. Give them your home address so that you can get the ballots and vote for your favorite show. But you see, if just one show is registered in voting, they get all the Emmy nominations, don't they? So take the responsibility as a performer, because it's show business. Okay, I'm off that box now.
I love that you exposed that all for us. No, that's fabulous.
Well, I mean, it's just like that's the one thing as a governor, and Kate Linder is the current governor with Kim Estes. He's our other governor, and we keep trying to tell them, you know, people need to give their home addresses to the academy securely. No one can have them but the academy. But then the academy sends you the ballot. You get it. You can decide who the best show is, who the best performer is. So, but now if only 5 or 6 people are getting it, the rest are all going to their agents and managers. Either they go in the trash and nobody votes. But as governors, we're always said, your people aren't voting. You need to get the people out there. Well, we can't get blood out of a turnip. We know the people that are voting, their addresses are in there and they're getting the ballot, i.e. the count. But these people aren't, obviously. So something's wrong. Now, if you don't want to vote, that's fine. Then don't be a member. There's responsibilities, and it is show business.
I want to ask you something, Patrika. What's something that people tend to misunderstand about you?
I have a big mouth. I don't think so. I try to do. You may not like somebody, but I do. They may have offended you, but they didn't offend me. So just because I like you, I'm not going to dump that person. They were my friends too. Unless you do wrong by me, personally, or at this point to my husband, those are my two, or my family. But don't expect me to dislike somebody because you don't like them. And I think that kind of sometimes people think, well, she's just not loyal to me. Well, what do you want me to do? Dump that other person. Yeah. No, then I'm not loyal to them either. They're a friend. You're a friend. I don't pick my friends by my other friends' opinions. It's like that. So I'm not sure if people understand that about.
No, that's fair. And what's something that you would say, something that scares you?
Oh, I don't, I guess my husband has Alzheimer's. And my worst fear is him waking up one day and not knowing who I am. And I'm sure that all people that are dealing with those things, that's it. He's the love of my life, and I want that to stay that way. But I'm also an adult and know that there are some things that you cannot fix. So, but that's one of my biggest fears.
I have time for one last question for you today on Coffee with Chris, and I really appreciate your time being here.
Okay.
What's something that makes you smile?
Oh, you know what? I think it's seeing somebody that I've coached or doing, even talked to achieve or to realize that they're better than they think they are. I try to encourage things, especially young women. There was something I read today about the separation thing, about the fact that, we're still saying, little girls are not as smart as little boys. Well, that's dumb. It's like, and you need to learn how to, my own dad said to me, acting's terrible. You need to learn to type. You need to learn to type. That's what you're going to do. And I'm like, okay, Dad. It's like, don't put stoppers on your own children. Encourage both sexes to go for their dreams, and they can do anything they want to do. Maybe the boy wants to be a chef. Oh, cooking? He wants to cook? No, the little girl wants to build bridges. Hello, encourage both of them. Encourage both of them. Don't put sex limitations on them. It's here. Their brains, encourage their brains to grow and expand. And read with them. Those are I like to see when I've told somebody to do something and they come up to me and go, I just had my first part on television. You were so great. Thank you so much. That makes my heart swell and be happy. It's that kind of
thing. I love those answers. And again, that was the last question I had for you today on Coffee with Chris. Everyone out there, make sure you get to Google to find Patrika Darbo. Take a look. You're absolutely going to love everything that she's up to. Everyone out there, remember to smile to inspire and have a fantastic day. Thank you so much.